Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are now joined by Amy the Happy Hypnotist from Salt Lake City, Utah. Amy Koford joining us here today to talk about the work she does as a professional hypnotist, helping people with many different issues. And there's a lot that you may know of and a lot that you probably never heard of. So we're going to get to this, and we want to give a warm welcome to our happy friend. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here, Amy. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is you do as a hypnotist, please.
Okay. Yep, I've been a professional hypnotist for several years, and as it worked out, I ended up becoming an expert in depression and anxiety as a hypnotist because that's all the clients that were coming to me, just one after another, coming to me for depression and anxiety. But then it also spread out. I do stop smoking in one session with a lifetime guarantee. In fact, I helped someone yesterday and Monday. They had both smoked for 30 plus years and they're done with one session.
Got
I
it.
also have a number of programs. My main program is called Optimized Greatness, and it's just a few weeks to get someone to be the ultimate version of themselves, confident and just thriving. And it resolves past traumas and all the things that have been preventing that from happening.
Wow.
Yeah, so I help people with phobias, habits. I mean, there's so many things I've done
Yeah.
as a hypnotist.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
great
go ahead.
overview. I want to back up a little bit and get your backstory. But first, tell us
Sure.
how we can reach out to you, those that are listening, watching today. What's your website?
It's amykoford.com, spelled AMYKO Ford.
Perfect.
So
And
amykoford.com. All my social media for the most part is Amy the Happy Hypnotist, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and then LinkedIn is just Amy Koford.
all right, I got to ask
And
before we do your whole background, I want to know, how did you get the nickname of being happy, so happy? Are you just innately this way?
there's two reasons. Number one is yes, I do love to be happy, but the other reason I call myself Amy the Happy Hypnotist is because I want to help others be happy.
Oh, I love that.
That's
That's
my
beautiful.
expertise.
Now, give
So,
me a
yeah.
little of your backstory. Where were you born? Let's talk about your upbringing and how you got into this field. Would you mind sharing that story with us?
Yeah, know if my upbringing has a lot to do with how I ended up in this, but yeah, I was raised in the Rocky Mountain area, Salt Lake City, and several years ago, I wanted to find my calling in life. I had done other things in the past, like human resources and so forth, but I just really loved the idea of having something that made a huge difference. And somehow, after putting it out there in the universe, help me, lead me to what would be best for me. I ended up studying hypnotism, certifying,
Wow.
becoming a hypnotist, and then my first few clients had major traumas and things. So that's what I was saying. I
Yeah.
inadvertently became the expert at this because once I had all these clients coming to me with major traumas, major issues, I said, okay, I've got to be the best at this.
Yep. You want to be the best in the world. I read that in your notes. Good for you.
I do. So with that aim, yeah, that's exactly what I've done over the past several years. And especially this last year, I've been able to train with two of the top hypnotists on this planet, Marshall Silver and Paul McKenna. And so it's been a wonderful journey, the whole thing. I love what I do.
Impressive. And who introduced you to this?
I just became interested. I don't even know why. One day I was literally sitting at a desk at work and I started
What
Googling
were you
it.
doing, by the way, at the time?
I just had a part-time office job as an
Okay.
office manager, because my youngest was still in kindergarten. So I just needed anyway. So yeah, I was like, I'm not in my career right now, and that's fine. I stayed home for a few years with my kids. I have five biological kids, and
So
so it was very busy
I have
for a
two that are
while.
7 and 9, and it's very difficult. Oh, five. God bless you.
I love it.
How old
It
are
was
they
a
now?
party. My oldest is 25, my youngest is 12. I miss the days when they all 5 lived at home. It was so much fun. Yes, it was busy. Yes, there's challenges, but I love having 5. It's been so much fun. So anyway,
Amazing.
yeah, I was a stay-at-home mom for a few years and then part-time. Like I say, from there I thought, okay, it's time, right? It's time for
For
me
me
to get
again.
my mission in life. And it did. I'm really grateful that my quest for that was answered. I put it out there and it was answered in a way that I never could have imagined. And it's been so amazing. The people that I've seen transform, the challenges that people have overcome with this modality of healing and therapy, it's just been the most exciting thing. And sometimes people say, isn't that hard to sit there with all these people's problems? And I say, no, not at all, because they overcome them
Hmm.
short, like in only a few weeks
Yeah.
is all it takes. And so I love it. Like yesterday, I had a brand new client who had been in therapy for 12 years. And I told her, I can't even wrap my head around that. The most I work with someone is 8 sessions, and they have done such a major transformation that they'll go from like a 0 love of themselves to 10. So
Wow. So
I love
not
what I do
saying other
because it's
modalities don't
exciting.
work, but a lot of people have tried a lot of other ones and they don't work from what I hear. And then they
Yeah,
discover hypnotherapy. Not a bad idea to start
exactly.
here first and, of course, you can
Yes,
try everything, but this is
they would save.
fascinating. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. So
they
how
would save
many?
a lot of time and money if they
It
went
really
here
would.
first.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, I would love to hear obviously more about what you do. And of course, I know you have a program in particular that you want to discuss called Optimize Greatness, let alone you're an author, you're a speaker, you are pretty big time. So there's a lot to get to today. Where would you
Yeah.
like to begin? And by the way, I'm on the website too. I urge everyone to do the same, amykoford.com as we continue. Go ahead, hun.
Okay. So the Optimized Greatness program is my complete comprehensive program to take someone to just their ultimate version. So in that program, we do every possible type of hypnotism techniques and so forth to get all those old feelings, old events, whatever's been affecting this, right? Whatever's been pulling someone down or holding them back. We let go of a lot of fears. There's so much to this program, and it also is constantly replacing.
Mm-hmm.
The mind is an amazing thing, and the unconscious will take what you give it as literal. It is just a computer. So what I do too is I'm filling the unconscious with that's the client most wants, right?
You got it.
Confidence, love for themselves, happiness, gratitude, a more positive attitude, and especially a connection to their power so that they can just go on and thrive. The optimized greatness will help people make more money, help their relationships, their health, their wealth, everything. We go over every aspect of their lives. So it's just super comprehensive, and it's only 8 weeks is all. And it does all that in that short of a time.
Wow. And I love that you offer the guaranteed results. You say, have you
Yep.
tried everything to get over your challenges and they haven't worked? Well, you can and you will overcome your challenges. I love her positivity. Yeah, and rated 5 stars on Google, and great testimonials, which I'm going to talk about too a little bit later. But seeing is believing. And I've watched some of your videos. You've been featured on many TV shows, many podcasts, and really are powerful in helping those, especially with depression and anxiety, but also we're going to talk about weight loss. We're going to talk about insomnia. We're going to talk about fears, phobias, and there's so many things that you can help people with, right? There's like, how many hundreds of
Mhm.
things can hypnosis help with? Honestly, do you
A
know?
lot. And I've
Is there like
done
a number?
most of them. I've never quantified it, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I even help with sports performance.
Wow.
I have a few clients right now, some for golf, some for wrestling. I get people for cheerleading. I've had a number of people come to me for better sports performance. And honestly, if all the Olympic athletes and pro athletes are not using hypnotism
Yeah.
to their benefit, they're missing out because it really helps with sports performance as well. So
Perfect.
yeah, just a number of things. There's so many.
Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Well, hold on. I just want people out there also to understand when they hear the word hypnosis, I just have to bring this up. Some people, what they get confused. They don't know what hypnosis even is or how it works. I would love to hear how it works in the process because some people think of hypnosis as that stage hypnosis that's, making you quack like a duck on stage, and that's not really what hypnosis is. So could you just clarify that for us and let our viewers and listeners know a little bit about the process and assure them that it's not like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and that is very common that most people see it as what they've seen on movies. Now, I also do fun hypnosis shows, stage shows. And yeah, I can get people to do really funny things, but I can't get them to do anything against their values or their
Yep.
will. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? So
Yes,
when
it
someone
does.
does something funny, it's like
That's
their
yeah.
inhibition about that. They just think, "Oh, it's fun."
Yes.
But it's amazing. And so here's what hypnotism really is, okay? It's a very natural state of the mind, and people are going in and out of hypnosis all the time. Daydreaming, right? Road hypnosis, things like that. But the difference
True.
is that when someone is daydreaming, it's not guided and it has no real purpose. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Whereas in a hypnosis session, we are using that state of mind as a catalyst for change instead of just a basic trance state. So it's a very natural state. Everyone that comes in for their first session is pleasantly surprised after their first session at
Okay.
how good they feel and how it wasn't one bit
I'm very
scary. It
scary.
wasn't one
Mm-hmm.
bit feeling like they might lose control. It's nothing like
Good.
that whatsoever. So they're always
Perfect.
very pleasantly surprised. Some people feel like they're just sitting there with their eyes closed, and I'll tell them, if you feel like that, it's still working. You have to know that I've seen it all over the years.
I'm sure.
Everyone experiences it differently.
Some people
For
fall
others, they
asleep.
go really relaxed. Yeah, some people actually drift off to sleep in
Yep.
between delta and theta waves,
Wow.
which are different brain waves. The state of hypnosis is theta waves, but it's just a very relaxed state. And when one is in that super relaxed state, the conscious
Mm-hmm.
mind kind of
Oop,
moves aside,
got
kind
it.
of lowers, and we can get into the powerful unconscious mind, which is a bigger part. So what is it? It's just a natural state of trance. That's
Perfect.
it. Everyone's experienced it numerous times in their lives.
Got it. Like driving, like you realize, how did I get to the grocery store today? And you just get there.
Yep.
That's hypnosis, right?
Yep, spot on. But like I say, that type is not guided or it
Yeah.
doesn't serve a purpose necessarily. So, yeah.
Perfect. All right. So let's also, well, for you, there's so much to talk about. Did you want to dive into the book? Did you want to talk more about hypnosis? Let me leave it open to you because this is your
I
show,
know,
hon.
right? I have
Yeah.
a lot. My book that I'm finishing right now is going to be out here in a few months, but
Yay.
it's all about fear and overcoming fear and just rising above fear.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I've learned is most of our world problems and our individual problems can be traced back to what I call unnecessary fear, right? We know that there's necessary fear
Mm-hmm.
where, if something life threatening actually comes up, you need that. But most of the fear that we experience in our lives is unnecessary fear. And
Yep.
it's reached levels that is just ridiculous and it's not serving us. When we are filled with unnecessary fear, it has a really downside to it, right? Like it's a negative impact on our lives. And so, because of all my experiences with helping people let go of fear, overcome it,
Yep.
move forward from unnecessary fear, I wrote this whole book about what it is and how to overcome it. And every chapter has all these amazing exercises, things that you can actually do,
Do.
practical ways to rise above it and to tell it to take a hike and thrive, because
Amazing.
that is really one of the main things about doing better in life is you got to be stronger than that fear. You got to show that fear that you are more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So my book, it's really comprehensive. It's all
is
about
there a
fear, all
title?
about what it is. Yeah, it's called Hardwired to Rise. And we are hardwired to rise above fear. That is
Aw,
our natural way of being. That's how we were created to be, that we are stronger than fear, and that fear is just one of those elements of our lives that should only come up occasionally. It should not be the kind of thing that holds us back or causes
which
us
it
suffering.
does, which it does. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, what is the name of the book, by the way, that's coming out, and where we'll be able to find it?
Okay. Well, I'll have it all over. I've got a publishing company working with me, but yeah, it's
Great.
called Hardwired to Rise.
Okay.
And the subtitle I keep changing.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's basically, the subtitle is, yeah, your best guide to overcome fear and thrive. And
Beautiful.
so it's just an amazing book, if I do say so myself, because I've put everything I've learned, and it's going to give the reader different perspectives that they never thought of. So sometimes people think, "Oh, I'm fearless. I don't struggle with fear. That's not one of my things." But yet I get that as clients, and then it turns out that they have some deep-seated fears that they didn't even realize were fears.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to let go of those in the hypnosis sessions and things. So even those that think that they're fearless, this book will benefit anyone and everyone on this planet. And I
Well,
even talk about that. Hey, as a global community, this is to our benefit,
yeah,
because fear is causing most of our world problems besides Mother Nature. It's causing
mm-hmm.
pretty much every other problem in our world.
Amazing. Well,
So,
also, it's hardwired to rise, but you say eye-opening truth about how fear holds you back, causes suffering, and how to liberate yourself to have the thriving life you deserve.
yeah.
Yes. Amy Koford,
See,
the
and that's
happy
long.
hypnotist. She's here. Remind us how we can reach out to you, sweetheart, before we continue.
Okay. You can reach me at amykoford.com, AMYKOF as in food, ORD.com. My social media is Amy the Happy Hypnotist on most platforms. And you can reach me at phone number 385-275-8050.
Oh my gosh. And by the way, all these like 5-star reviews on Google, go to the website, check them out. Here's someone just talking about you, saying you're a joy to work with, made me feel comfortable, safe, made huge progress in first 2 sessions, life changing, forever grateful. That was someone named April. Then there's Amy, has been wonderful to work with. She listens intently, understands the needs I wanted to work on. We went through a few issues. Each one was unique. She handled each one with great satisfaction. I'm surprised how effective hypnotherapy is. And you're so personal and so many accolades here. They're going quick, but I'm reading them. Everyone loves their sessions. Oh, this person struggled with sugar addiction and emotional eating. You fix that for her. Oh my goodness. So just, I mean, seeing is believing and hearing people's stories. Did you want to share a testimonial or two of some people that you've worked with?
Oh, I could go on for days, but maybe some of my most recent. I just finished my program, Optimize Greatness, recently with someone who he was in a really low place and he did not love himself. He was not confident. Like, I go through some questions to assess where they are when we start. And through the program, he learned how to love himself. He learned how to be confident. We were able to identify some of those core issues that had been causing these overall, right, troubles. And when he finished the program, his confidence was like literally from a 0 to a 10. Self-love went from 0 to, I think, 9 or 10, and so forth. It was that way across the board with everything. What would you rate your happiness? It went up to like 9 or 10 in just those few sessions with that program. And so that's just one of my recent ones. And then also, I have a client that I'm working with right now who's struggled with drug addiction for 12 years, and he has made extreme progress. So every time he comes back, he's like, "Yep, I'm doing better. I'm doing better." And so now we're just
Wow.
done. Like, it has been such a struggle. He's been in and out of drug rehab several times over the past several years, and this has helped him more than any of those. So that's just a few stories. I mean, I could go on all these fun stories, right?
I'm
I could,
sure. This is
there's
amazing.
so many, so many.
And by the way, so you mentioned 8 sessions. That's usually what it takes. Everyone is different though.
No, that's the maximum.
Max. Oh.
That is my optimized greatness program. With a lot of clients, depending on what they're coming to me for, like sports performance or maybe habits. Like I had a girl that came to me a while ago that pulled out all her hair pretty much. And she had been doing that for several years. And with one session, she was done. But then we did a few more just to make sure that we addressed all the issues. So it can be anywhere. And like I say earlier, I can get people to stop smoking in one session. So it can be anywhere from one session up to eight. Eight is max. So anything in between
Wow.
there.
Okay.
And real quick, I didn't mention that the optimized greatness program can be done anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
So virtual
It,
like
it's
this. Are you
it's
working on
virtual.
Zooms or phone calls,
Hmm.
or how do we do
Yes.
hypnotherapy?
Yes.
Or
A
all the
lot of
above?
people that are local come in,
Okay.
but I can do it on Zoom and it still works great. That person that I mentioned that went from 0 to 10 confidence with that program, we did it all on Zoom. So it
Beautiful.
works really great on Zoom.
And
So you can do those anywhere, anytime. Smoking, I can do on Zoom, but it is helpful if someone can come in person. But yeah, the sessions are anywhere from 1 to 8, just
amazing.
depending on what we're doing and how severe and what, some people have numerous issues that they want to solve. So just depends on a number of things.
Now, can you
Yeah.
hypnotize yourself? Have you gone through
Yeah,
it? What about you? Have you gone through hypnotherapy? Do you
I
who
sure have.
okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And before I became a hypnotist, I thought, well, I better try this out.
Yeah,
So I did.
good
I went to a
idea.
hypnotist. It worked great. I worked on a number of issues that are still solved years and years later.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I am a product of my product.
Beautiful.
I do hypnotize myself sometimes, oftentimes with clients, and I'll kind of go through it with them. And yeah, but I've been hypnotized by other hypnotists many times at different conferences, classes, trainings. Hypnotists are easy to hypnotize because the more that you're hypnotized, the easier and deeper you go. So I've been hypnotized by other hypnotists so many times that I'm easy to hypnotize.
And clearly, it makes you happy. You're just a happy person. I love that you're trying to bring
That's
joy
right.
into people's lives. I mean, not try, you actually are. And you're also a speaker. You're also traveling, doing
Mhm.
conferences and all too. I mean, I mean, she's modest, but we haven't had much time to talk. But there's a lot that you do. What else did you want to share for us
Yes,
today? And I hope we have
yes,
more shows together.
yes, I hope so. I love speaking. Public speaking is one of my loves in life. And so when I do public speaking, of course, I want it to be tailor made to what the event is, what the audience wants, so it's super relevant. But I have fun with them too. And sometimes I'll do a hypnosis session with the entire audience, or I'll bring someone up and hypnotize one person to demonstrate the power of the mind, or I'll talk about what it is, or a number of things. Sometimes I'll even integrate some show things. I told you that I do hypnosis shows, and they are a blast. So once in a while, I'll do a public speech where I'll do a little bit of speaking, and then I'll do the second half is a fun show. And I get people up on the stage doing funny things. So I incorporate hypnotism with my public speaking because people are fascinated by it. People love to see it. It's a very intriguing thing to people. And so I feel like by integrating hypnotism with my speaking, it just makes it a lot more interesting for the listener. The audience is a lot more engaged in it.
Awesome.
So,
And then also, I mean, wow, there's a lot to you. So the author coming up, we're going to get this book soon. I can't wait to see, to read, to hear. And let me ask you, you wrote, what would you do if you knew you could? The new you say, will be empowered to live the life you have always dreamed of. I mean, this is powerful stuff. People, even like for career changes, could you use hypnotherapy for that? I mean, like what happened
oh,
during the
yes.
pandemic? I mean, let alone the anxiety and yes, the stress, which I know we'll talk more about too, but what about those suffering with the loss of jobs? And you got to refocus and feel and realize what other mother talents, what are my skills? But that's a fear. I mean, did you help? Are you helping people with that too, going through that career change?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Every number of life areas and aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I emphasize a lot in my sessions with session one, if I have more than one session with someone, I'll have them say, okay, right off the bat, what I'm going to have you do is clarify exactly what you want that's invisible and tangible, because you will never get what you want if you don't know what you want. And so I have them try to explore that. Now, some people, like you say, if they're in a job change, a transition like that,
Yeah.
if they don't know, then we'll start to explore that with their unconscious. Kind of like what does this person love to do? What lights them up? And I'll tell them, "Hey, put it out there in the universe. Ask for guidance." It worked
Yeah.
for me.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, any kind like with fears about that, jobs, money, I do get a lot of people that are, fearful of not making enough money, and they business owners and so forth. So we turn that around and get them empowered to make more money and do better, be more successful.
Got
So
it. I
yeah,
love Awesome. Awesome.
every
Well,
every
in our
area.
in our last 3 minutes together, what do you
Okay.
want to leave with your audience for today?
Well, I want them to know that there is a better way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I became a hypnotist. Personally, I had had experience with regular talk therapy that just didn't help me. Now, I know that there's a
Mm-hmm.
place for that, and I'm not,
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that are LCSWs and so forth. I love them. But I just feel like for a lot of people, they want what works. They don't want to
Mm.
go to therapy for 12 years. Like this new client yesterday, she said, I went for 12 years, spent all that money, and it still didn't accomplish what I wanted to.
Wow.
And so my experience is I had gone to talk therapy. It just didn't work for me. And so the reason I became a hypnotist is to help people know, hey, you can accomplish
Yeah.
this. You can solve your challenges. And how much easier is it than just closing your eyes and changing your life?
So
People don't even
amazing.
have to talk to me during the sessions.
This is
They just go
beautiful.
in the chair and I work it out in their unconscious. So they don't even have to really tell me anything if they don't want to.
Oh
So
my
yeah, I want
goodness.
people to know there is
Hope.
amazing ways that you can reach your full potential. And I'm here for that. And I want you to have the happiness that you want, the love, the relationships, the health, everything. It's within your grasp. And I'm here to help you
Beautiful.
with that.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here. Excited to talk to you. A woman who's helping so many, and she's innately happy, and she's spreading her happiness. The happy hypnotist. Amy, tell us all the ways we can reach out to you. And do you offer like an initial consultation for someone? How does that work to establish what you think they need?
Typically, no, the consultation is just them reaching out to me and saying,
Perfect.
here's what I want to do.
Work on. Let's
Be
get
it,
started.
yep, here's what I want to do. And then I'll tell them, okay, we're just going to book your first session.
Hmm.
From there, once I have more information, when
Then
you come in or if it's on Zoom, then I can tell you how many sessions you'll probably need. Unless they
perfect.
do the optimized greatness, then it's all laid out for
Yes.
them.
All
But
right.
yeah, it's easy. Just reach out to me, we'll chat, and then I can get you on your way immediately.
Beautiful. Remind us again of the website and all forms of contact, please. Thank you.
Thank you. AmyKoford.com, AMYKO4.com. My social media is Amy the Happy Hypnotist on most platforms. LinkedIn, it's Amy Koford.
Yep.
And my phone number is 385-275-8050, 8050.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here. Excited to talk to
It's
you
a
and looking
pleasure.
forward
Thank
to
you,
next time
Jill.
we connect. Thank you
You're
so much.
amazing. Thank you
No,
so
you are such a
much.
sweetheart. Thank you so much. I hope we connect again for sure. Thank you. And
Thank you.
yeah, you can even if you want to bring on some people that you've worked with, we could even set that up and have them on call in as guests or be on the Zoom with us. I mean, I love hearing like client testimonials, it's fascinating. But
That's
thank
a
you
great
again.
idea.
All right, we're out of time. So
Thank you.
sorry. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.